need.
Question number 4, Dr. Deborah Russell.
My question is to the Minister of Finance. What recent reports has he seen on the state of the New Zealand economy?
Speaker.
The Honourable Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, last week credit rating agency Moody's released its latest annual credit analysis, awarding New Zealand a AAA stable credit rating. It said its rating reflects New Zealand's very high economic resilience, very strong institutions and policy effectiveness and strong fiscal position. Moody's said that New Zealand's economic profile supports the newly elected coalition government's credit-positive commitment to preserving surpluses and reducing government debt as a percentage of GDP over the next 5 years.
Supplementary. What does the Moody's report say about the government's fiscal policy?
Mr Speaker, Moody's makes the point that the government's commitment to preserving strong public finances provides room to pursue expansionary fiscal policy. Mr Speaker, this government is committed to managing our finances carefully, including delivering sustainable surpluses and reducing net debt to 20% of GDP within 5 years of taking office, but at the same time making investments such as our families package and increased investment in health and education that are so desperately needed to address the social and infrastructure deficits facing New Zealand.
What do recent reports he has seen say about the need for infrastructure investment?
Mr Speaker, Moody's highlight the fact that the government will spend more on road, rail and housing infrastructure. These are important investments to meet the infrastructure deficit that has been left to this government. As highlighted in Treasury's investment statement released last month, 19% of DHB assets are in poor or very poor condition, 38% of school buildings are at least 50 years old, and 40% of social housing assets are over 50 years old. It will take more than one budget to undo 9 years of neglect, but this government has a plan to deliver social and public services that New Zealanders deserve.
Supplementary question, David Seymour.
Why is this government working so hard to lower expectations?
Mr Speaker, what this government is doing is working extremely hard to make sure that New Zealanders get the public services that they deserve. I think the member might be better off lowering expectations about his dancing.
Is it not the case that his colleagues have already been house-trained by the bureaucrats and don't know how to manage them? There actually are no problems.
Mr Speaker, I wouldn't want to speak about the house training or otherwise of my colleagues, but what I can say is this government is committed to making the balance that New Zealanders want, which is between an economy that's carefully managed and making the investments that are needed to correct the social and infrastructure deficits we've been left with.
Question number 5, the Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
My question is to the Minister of Health. Does he stand by